Today's tutorial is all about color theory for beginners. For those of you who are new here, my name is Michelle Moreus and I make art tutorials that are fun, easy, and accessible for everyone. Choosing colors for your art can sometimes be a daunting task, but if you understand a little bit about the basics of color theory, it'll make your job a whole lot easier. The first thing we need to talk about are primary colors. Your primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Now technically, you should be able to make any color from these primary colors plus white and black. You might ask if I can create any color from the three primary colors. Why do all the paint sets and pencil sets come with multiple colors in each set? And this has to do with how pure the pigment is and how it can vary with each manufacturer or paint company. And the reason why certain brands can be extremely expensive is the quality of the pigments are more pure and there'll be less filler and binder material. So our secondary colors is when you mix two primary colors together, you get a secondary color. So yellow and blue will create green, red and blue will create purple, and yellow and red will create orange. Your tertiary colors are created when you mix a primary color and a secondary color. So when you mix red and orange, you get a red-orange. Orange and yellow, you get a yellow-orange. Green and yellow, you get a yellowish green. Green and blue, you get a blue-green. Blue and violet equals a blue-violet. And violet and red is a red-violet. Now, when we talk about hue is the actual color of something. It refers to the color family of which it belongs. A shade is created when you mix black with a color. A tint is created when you mix white with a color. And a tone is created when you mix that same color with gray. So here's a better example with some colors. The tint, the tone, and the shade. So we're mixing white, gray, and black. The next thing I want to talk about is value. Value is extremely important to get your paintings and drawings to not look flat. You want to use a full range of values. You want to have everything from your lightest highlights to your deepest, darkest shadows, and everything in between. Value can be very deceiving. When a light area is surrounded by a darker area, it makes the midtone look lighter than it actually is. And this is a really good example of this. If you notice the middle bar, it looks as though it's a gradation from left to right, from light to dark. But in actuality, when I isolate it, you'll see that that bar is all the same color. So the area around it changes it and it tricks the eye to make it look lighter or darker than it actually is. If you're having difficulties distinguishing the colors from one another, you can buy a value scale or a grayscale finder, and this might help you in certain areas of the drawing to pick out which is the light and which is the dark tones. Monochromatic is a term that refers to using three shades, tints, or tones of a single base color. They're more subtle combinations and can be very soothing to the eye. These are examples of the same reference image done in 4 different monochromatic color schemes. Complementary colors are colors that are opposite on the color wheel. When you use complementary colors, you get a really high impact, high contrast color combination. It gives you a punch and almost a vibration that can trick your eye to see movement. The analogous color scheme are the three colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. If you use the purest or highest contrast color and two accent colors next to it on the color wheel, this will give you an analogous color scheme. And it can be any three colors that are next to each other on the wheel, and it will be considered an analogous color scheme. Saturation refers to how pure or intense a color is, or how much a color is diluted. A color right out of the tube would be considered highly saturated. If you're doing digital painting, the colors are referred to as 0% to 100%. But in watercolor, it would be how much the color is diluted with water. So the last thing I want to talk about is temperature. For temperature, you have warm colors and you have cool colors. For your warm colors, you want to think of things that are hot or warm, like the sun. Maybe something on the stove that's hot is going to be red, like a red ember. For your cool colors, think of water, ice cubes, things like that. Those will be your cool colors. But you can also have warm grays and cool grays. So your warm grays, again, are going to have your yellowish, greenish undertones, and your cool grays are going to have your blue undertones. I've tried to boil it down as easy as possible for you. We could go way more in depth on all of this color theory stuff, but I tried to give you just the basics to try to make it a little bit simpler next time you're going to choose your colors, to have a better understanding of what's going on with color theory. I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you found the video useful, please leave me a comment below. I enjoy hearing from each and every one of you. Leave me a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel. It means a lot to me, and I'll see you on the next video. Happy art!